Looks like it's working now. Hopefully you guys did not, and I see you did not. I'm very, very grateful that you guys did not leave. So apparently this computer is having issues. Just in case I have my laptop, if we need to reconnect to the other one. Anyway, so the purpose of this meeting is about the assignments. We have the most important assignment that is coming, which is the midterm. We need to talk about that. The project also, we need to talk about that. And also the different assignments that we have all over the place to make sure that where they stand and how they look like. So let me share with you the screen so that we have a map of where we are. So let me go back and hopefully it doesn't glitch again. And if it does, I'm going to go to my laptop, okay? Because this is not good. So let me share. And let me find where the screen is. Was it this one? That one? So okay, so it's this one. Very good. Okay, what you're looking at in here is from your vantage point, namely a student perspective and how this looks like. So I'm looking at it in here, and hopefully you guys are looking at the same thing.
Professor, I think you froze.
So this is the midterm. You have to get ready for it. There are 3 midterms. One of them is going to be automatically dropped. So please don't count on this one to be dropped. Always never count on that module to be midterm to be dropped. Try to work very hard on it, and then where it lands, it lands. So if it happens to be the lowest grade, that's the one to be dropped. If you have a big emergency and you cannot make the midterm, that is actually fine because that's the one that's going to be dropped. But I can't really drop more than one because if I do, then we have a problem. Yes, Alyssa.
Will the midterm be on the quizzes, like be based off?
Based on all the content that is that is due up to this point. It's not comprehensive. It's only for those units that you covered. And as a matter of fact, that brings me to the other assignment, the type of assignment, which is the review for this midterm. Okay, this one is due on June 6th. The review is actually you get the full credit for it just for attempting it. The purpose of the review is to prepare you for the actual midterm. So if you don't do it at all, you get nothing for it, of course. If you try and you get only 5 questions correct, doesn't matter, you're going to get the full credit for it. The purpose of the review is to make sure that you're engaged in the class and preparing for it. The content of the midterm is actually coming from the review. Does this answer your question, Alyssa?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so it is very, very important at this point of the juncture, at this point of the class, to make sure you're doing the review. It's available for you. It is going to be due on June 6th, and June 6th is this Friday, okay? And which means that the actual midterm is going to start immediately after. Once the midterm starts, this review closes, so that you know, okay? So it's due on June 6th at 11:59 p.m. That's when it's due, okay? And you have as many attempts as you want. Obviously, the units are covered in here, okay? And to units 5 through 12, it's not just 5 and 12, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way to 12, plus units 34 and 35. Those are the ones that are covered in this one. You will receive full credit for attempting and doing a review. So even if you score 0 points in this review, you will receive full credit for your participation in the preparation. Meaning, even if you get 0, you still get full credit. But if you don't do it at all, of course, you don't get anything. So those are the 2 grades that are possible for the review. Either you get 0% or 100%. Okay? Even if you score 0 while you're attempting it, as long as you attempted, it's counted as a full attempt and you get the full credit for it. Hopefully this is clear. And the purpose of this one is to prepare you for the actual midterm. Because the midterms have a huge weight on your grade, you really want to take them seriously. You want to prepare for them, to be focused for them. The day comes in for the actual midterm, and that moment is when you're supposed to be ready 100% for the actual midterm. You ace it and you move on. So that's really the purpose of this one in here. So I'm hoping that everybody is on board. So the review is here, and the actual midterm is due June 9th. And June 9th is 7 days from today, which is a Monday. So you will have the weekend to work on it. And if in case you're working on the weekend and you can't get back to it, you still have a Monday to take care of it. Of course, the assignments have to have they have to have time because they're building up. We have so many other assignments that are coming down the road, so we can't have a pile up of assignments. So this is in terms of the importance, by far it's the most important assignment. Okay, so hopefully it's clear and answers some of these questions. Now, I'm not going to discuss the quizzes yet. I'm not going to discuss the discussions yet, but I'm going to discuss the project. Okay. The project actually comes in next in terms of its own individual weight. By itself, it has a lot of weight because, yes, it's a 10% of your grade, but it's only one assignment. You miss it and you miss 10% of your grade. That means you're not working off of an A already. You're working toward a B or a C. You don't want that. You want to get your A. So make sure you do the project if you want to do that. Unless you're not aiming for an A in this class, then you can skip the project, okay? So make sure you do the project to make sure you get your A. So what is this project? The project is due on the 18th, so you have a little bit of window for it, but honestly, we'll see why it's not that much an open window for it. So let me click on it, open it as if I want to do it. Again, I'm logged in as a student, and it tells me the different phases of the moon and things like that. So this is when the new moon is. Usually you can see it because of the horizon thing, and then it starts to go through its normal phases. First of all, it's a crescent that is increasing, call it waxing crescent, and then the crescent increases further until it's a quarter moon, and that is usually about 7 to 8 days because the solar month, the lunar month is about 4 weeks. So in about a week, you will have a quarter moon, and then the moon starts to grow. This is called the first quarter. Then the moon starts to grow. You have a gibbous. That gibbous is actually waxing gibbous because it's increasing. I don't know. Did I say a waxing crescent? I think I probably messed up in there. Anyway, it's a waxing, meaning it's increasing in size. And here the gibbous, which is more than a quarter, less than a full moon. Then in this case, it's still increasing. So it's a waxing gibbous. And then it goes into full moon, which is about 2 weeks in the lunar month. Okay, the moon rises in the east, whereas the sun sets in the west during that time, and it stays the entire night in the sky. Then the next day, it's going to start to decrease in size from being a full moon down to a gibbous, but this gibbous now is decreasing in size, called the waning gibbous. And then it decreases further until it's a quarter moon. The difference between this quarter moon and this quarter moon, this one faces to the west. The lit part of the moon faces to the west, and the lit part of the moon in here faces to the east. Okay, so this is the third quarter, and then it's going to now become a crescent, but this crescent is decreasing. We call it a waning crescent, until it gets very, very small, and then it goes beyond, and then it comes back again. So this is the 4 phases of the moon. It's 4 weeks, different phases. What you want for your lunar project, honestly, anywhere outside of this region, either a waxing gibbous or a waning gibbous, okay? Because you would want as much of the moon as it's lit without being fully lit, without being a full moon, okay? So you would want to have as much as possible, because part of the project is to identify the different features of the moon. As a matter of fact, in here, it gives you some of the landscape on the moon, okay? The different craters, the different marias, the different structures in there. And your purpose in here is to go out and identify. You look at the map, you look at the moon, and you say, I saw this Mari, I saw this crater, I saw this crater, and so on and so forth. So you're supposed to identify the different features that you can visually see, and then take a picture. And of course, you time and date that one, okay? Let me stop sharing this screen right now and share with you another screen. share. Let me, if I can just get the stellarium by itself. You should be looking at something called stellarium. Do you guys see the sky behind me in here?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So this software is called Stellarium, and I know I mentioned in the syllabus and I talked about it before. It simulates the location that we have here on San Bernardino, our location 324 meters above the atmosphere. And I am zoomed in right now. The time looking, it's frozen. I froze the time. It's a military way of doing time. So it's 25, the year, June 2nd, at the hour of 20 and 56. So it's almost 9 p.m. in the evening, okay? And we are looking at our own location, we're looking for the moon. If you look at the moon and the angle, if you extend your arm, which is 0, and you extend it all the way up, that's 90 degrees. Somewhere in between is 45 degrees. Slightly more than 45 degrees is where the moon is going to be seen tonight. As a matter of fact, you can look at the coordinates. I know it's extremely small. Probably you cannot see it very well on your screen. But if you have the software, it tells you at 51 degrees, 43 arc minutes, and 4.6 arc seconds. That's how its position in the above the horizon. Its position is going to be almost southwest from us. So here is the south for me. I don't know where your south is. Here is the west. Lit. If it's 50%, that it means it's a quarter moon, okay? Okay, it's 50.1, eliminated 50.1%. That means it's not 100, it's not 100%. If it's 100% lit, that means it's a full moon. 50% is quarter moon. So we need this number to be more than 50%, 60, 70%. So tonight is not going to be a good night. Look like. It's going to be more and more lit this way. So this is the ideal time to take your pictures and do your observations. So honestly, and I'm going to follow up with this with a message saying this is the time to go and do your observations. I know you have a midterm coming, but ideally this Thursday or Friday, do your observations. Okay. Go and look at the moon at night. 9 p.m. is great. Okay. As a matter of fact, I can tell you, and let me go to the time. I can change the time and change it to a few more days from now. The 6th is actually let me find where the moon is. Okay. Okay. So this is how it's going to look like on the 6th of June. If I go down one more day, it's going to look like less lit than on the 6th. So the 6th, honestly, we're talking still 9 p.m., okay? We're still the hour of 2056. So the moon is going to be almost not exactly for full moon, but it's going to have a lot of the features because part of the questions it's going to ask you is this line that terminates the lit part from the non-lit part. Okay, where is it? Where was it? Was it on this side if it's a crescent? Was it on this side if it's a gibbous like it is right now? Or was it right smack in the middle when it's a quarter moon? Tonight is going to be a quarter moon. 50.1% is as quarter as it can get. Okay. Tomorrow is going to be a little bit more on this side. The day after, ideally between Thursday and Friday, your observation should be done, okay, for this one. So again, hopefully you take this project seriously and let me stop sharing the screen so that I can continue with this. Where is my stop share? Alyssa, you still have a question?
Oh, yes. When I go to the project and click on the Lunar Observation Project link,
Mhm.
it says access denied and it won't load the page for some reason.
A very good question. I'm glad you asked it because if it's a problem, we have to fix it. Let me go into it myself. You're right. I'm gonna fix this links then. Okay. Okay, very good. So let me go back into it so that to show you what to do. Let me share. And so we are at the lunar project, okay? You're clicking on this one. Use this one instead, okay? I just double checked it and it opened for me. And again, I'm not a oh, you're doing the other project. I need to remove this one. Remember, I told you guys, I don't know, I said it last time, the lunar observation project is not part of this class. It's part of the extended class where they have a full month to do their lunar project. That's why it's denied because this one is not available for you. So I'm going to remove that one in here. It's a link that existed from before. So everything else for your project is working fine, okay? So this one is your lunar or the moon photography. That's what you're doing. You're doing the moon photography. I'm glad you asked that question because then first of all, I have to remove it. And second, I have to mention the fact to everybody else that this is not relevant for you, okay? As a matter of fact, let me leave the students before I forgot. Let me reset. Let me leave the student view and let me edit this so that we don't want to see it again. Okay. And let me just delete it. Okay. Because it's not relevant for you. Okay. For, uh, the other class, the one that is the extended class, they have that one. So now if you refresh your window, you should not see that. Okay. You guys see where the confusion was? There was a link in here for the other project that is not part of this class that you had no access to, so you really don't need it, okay? So this is your project. Sounds good, Alyssa? Everybody else?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you. I mean, thank you for the question for bringing that up because that's the purpose of having people live because I could have recorded this and missed this one in here and people will be struggling with that one in there. I'm glad that people are attending so that make sure that these questions are answered. So this is your project. Click on it. You can download the form. If you don't like it, you can use it without the form. So there are two PDF forms, okay? One with and one without. So I'm going to download this form in here as a student, of course. I'm going to save as, I don't know if you see it save as or not. And I'm going to save it to my computer. I don't know if you can see. I'm going to save it to my, where is my astronomy class? I can find it. Okay, 2025, summer class. Okay. Okay. So let me go and open it from there and then share it with you to show you how it looks like, okay? So that you guys can see how this class looks like, how this form looks like, because it's very important that we have so I already downloaded it and I opened it now and it's loading. Come on. Okay. So let me go back into here. I don't know, so Adobe saying. Okay, do you guys see it or not? Do you guys see the form or not? Let me share it again, just to make sure, because I probably want to. Okay, there is a form, share. So this is a PDF form, meaning you can put your info in it, okay? You can put your name in here. So if my name is Joe, hopefully there is no Joe in here, okay? So I put my name in there. It's very important. It's going to replicate it on every single page when I do that, okay? And the key thing in here is try to open it with Adobe. Don't use any other opener. If it doesn't work for you, you don't have to use the form. So if the form doesn't work for you, you don't have to use it. You can use Word or other format, whatever you like, okay? But the key thing in here, your report must include all of the questions answered, okay? And it's asking you about full versus new moon. It's asking you the day when you went and did the observation, the time, was it AM and PM? Because believe it or not, you can see the moon in the morning also around 7 AM sometimes, okay? Depending on the month, okay? And that's part of the cycle. And what phase was the moon? Again, we're aiming for a gibbous, and at this point it's going to be a waxing gibbous because that's what it's going to be. If you really do your observation on Thursday or Friday, okay. And the non-lit were the observer, any features on the moon that you can see. So basically, you're going to describe the unit, and then you have to take a picture. It doesn't have to be the greatest picture there is. I'm not aiming for that, okay? We're not aiming for astrophotography. We're just going to take a picture with whatever device you have available for you and upload that one, okay? Very important you do that. And then you compare the features that you see to the actual features of the moon and which approach was easier for identifying the moon in the sky relative to the sun and the horizon at the time of the observations. So basically follow the instructions and try to answer all of these questions. If you have difficulties, please reach out. The purpose of this project is for you guys to go out and do actual observations, identify as much features as you can on the moon, and report them as part of this activity, okay? So again, this is, let me stop sharing. This is for me to make sure I'm working toward the A. I am not just aiming for a B grade in this class, okay? Because I want to make sure I'm doing the project, I make sure that I'm doing my midterm, and now the other two types of assignment that we have to make sure that we also ace. And let me go and look for them. Let me first of all go back into where we were and go back into the models. Only one person came up with a question. Everybody else seemed to have no problem with it, except one person apparently had a difficulty with one assignment. So I'm going to mention just in case if it's more than one person. And that assignment has to do with the Earth. Is the Earth flat? Okay. And the person mentioned that I didn't know where to go and put the comment because there is no room in here for the comment. Obviously, there is a rubric and there's something to look for every single assignment. Here is what you do. You click on this button. Load is Earth flat in a new window. So when you do that, it's going to open a new window for you. And in the new window, there is the actual PDF. And you will see some people in here that have already posted stuff. And you guys recognize yourselves in here, okay? And you answer, basically add your, create your new post. And look at the assignment, the PDF file. Okay, once you do that, then at this point, you can create your I guess it's not letting me do that right now because I am not this user is not a full user, okay? It should allow you in here to add a comment, and a lot of you did it, so hopefully the rest of you would catch on to it. If you have a specific difficulty with this one, please let me know so that we can fix that, okay? Are you guys looking at the same form? Hopefully you are. I'm not sure. Let me make sure that I'm looking at the same page also because I don't want to share. So this is when it opens, and there is a room in here for you to add comments, okay? And you reply to other people also. Once you add your comments, you can basically post your replies and things like that, okay? Sounds good? So this is basically the purpose of this project. Let me go back to let me stop sharing because I'm not sure exactly. I know there are only a few of you in here. Okay, let me go back to share. Okay. So again, right now, because I clicked on it, you don't see that option in here anymore. But if I close it and refresh the window, it's going to give me that option again to click on that place where you start your actual assignment, okay? So this was one question from one of you guys, but just in case it's not only one person who is not sure exactly what to do about this, I'm just answering that one. Okay, Anyway, so let me go back into the models in here and talk about the other types of assignment that you guys have, okay? Every week you have discussions and the prompt is there and the answers is there. So hopefully you guys have paid attention to that. Again, I think one of this discussion will be dropped. Some of them down the road, okay? Down the road are not graded. So you will notice that some of these discussions, okay, are not graded. They don't have a grade. Some of them are just for discussions if you really want to get engaged with these discussions. But at this point, these discussions are worth 5 points, and there will be more than one per week, okay? So the first week, we have Module 1, Section 1. Sorry, why is this moving too fast in here for me? Module 1, Section 1, and oh man, things are all over the place. Hopefully, let me go back in here. I clicked on it by mistake, okay? So Module 1, Section 1, and Module 1, Section 2, both of them are graded, okay? And a lot of you actually answered, some of you did not answer. And in here it says ungraded. So this week's assignment is not graded, okay? So these are the discussions. The quizzes also they're dated. So if you please make sure you do them. And again, they're all lumped together under this participation stuff. So you make sure you do them, okay? If not, some of these assignments will be dropped. The other big assignments are the homework assignments, okay? This one is due June 15th. And I mentioned last time, there should be a lot of help for these assignments. So hopefully you will see that. And if you have questions, you ask them. And some of these links, some of the homework assignments, they have actually their own links on YouTube. And actually the links are provided in here also for you guys too, to make sure you know how to do your homework assignments. So those are the different types of assignment for this class. The biggest of which is going to be the midterm by far with the review. So make sure you do that. That's the number one task at this point, okay? That's 60% of your grade. That ensures at least we have a minimum stuff in here going on. And that's by far the most important assignment for this class, the most important weight in terms of this class. And then the next one also to ensure you get the A's to do this project. And this project is actually the observation has to be done as soon as possible because the window is closing. The other option, and it can go back in here. Somebody has a question in the chat? No, the question is related to the stellarium. Is the stellarium required? No, you don't. The stellarium is actually for me to show you how you do this. As a matter of fact, you should not use a stellarium. You have to go outside and do your own observation. That's why I'm requiring a picture, okay? To make sure you're doing the actual observation. So don't get me generic picture, okay? The instruction tells you not to use a generic picture. Don't go on Google and find how the moon looks like and take a picture. And download that picture and use that as your picture. No, I want you to do the picture. I want you to go out and do the observations. Actually, it's part of the class for the project. You're going to lose points if you don't do that. Please, okay, make sure you do that. So don't use the stellarium. But just in case, I'm going to go back to the stellarium to give you another option in here to see when is the moon is going to be gibbous next time. We know 15 days from the new moon, which started last Friday, I guess, was a new moon. Alyssa, you have another question?
Yes, do we have to use this for the project?
This software, no.
Okay.
No, you don't have to. It's a good idea to have it, at least to plan your trip, when to go, but you don't have to use it. It's actually a good tool to have, okay? You don't have to use it, okay? So I'm gonna keep the moon focused right now. Right now, if I go to the lit part, it's 85% lit. That's how much illuminated it is. So I'm gonna go 2 weeks from the 16th, okay? So the next Friday after the 16th, 7 plus 16 is the 13th. And the 13th plus another 7 days is going to be the 20th, around the 20th. So I'm going to put the 19th in here instead, okay? So I'm going to aim for the 19th around the same time, okay? And hit enter. And, okay. And it's eliminated. It's actually not a, what did I do in here? Oh, We went too far. Okay, so let's look at, because it's only 34.9%. Okay, so let me go back into the moon to find it. Oops, to find the moon. Come on. Not showing me the moon. What is it? Why is it not showing me the moon? Okay. So anyway, the point is in here, it's about 35% eliminated. I'm not seeing it exactly. I probably have to zoom out or I'm way zoomed in. Oh, it's below the horizon on that time, okay? That's why I can see it. It's below the Earth, okay? So let me go into later time than 20 to 100. Let me go on the 19th and put the clock at 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay, here is the moon. It's in the morning. You can see it around 4 o'clock in the morning. That's why it was showing us that. So it's a crescent. It's a waning crescent. So I need to go to a date earlier than that. So I'm going to go to the 15th, for example. Okay. Let's enter. And it's 83.4%. So that's good. That is actually a good day. So either this Thursday or the 15th. Okay. Thursday, Friday, or the 15th, 16th. Okay. The 15th, 14th, 15th. That is a better date. So I'm going to go back into the moon. And this is how it looks like. Note that the lit part is now facing to the east. That means it's a waning gibbous. If I do this observation on the 14th or the 15th, okay? So the windows for observations are going to be either this Thursday, Friday, or 14th, 15th. I don't know what the 14th, 15th are in terms of dates, okay? It's next Friday or Saturday, not this Friday, not the 6th, the 13th or the 14th. I mean, the 14th or the 15th, I'm sorry. 14th is a Saturday, 15th is a Sunday. Not this Saturday, the Saturday after. So this is actually the good window of looking at that. You see the value of this software? It helped me prepare my observations. So again, if I click on the moon, on that day, it's showing me 83.4% lit, which means it's mainly lit, okay? And the lit part is facing to the east now, which means it's shrinking, which means it's waning. It's a waning gibbous, okay? We're aiming for a gibbous because we would want to see as many features as we can. The Tycho crater, which is one of the biggest features of the moon, actually is seen better toward the end of the lunar month, not in the beginning. Because in the beginning, it's part of the dark spot, I mean the hidden part. And the second part of the month is part of the lit part, okay? So as long as you do that, but remember the project is due the 18th, so you can't really extend past this dates in there, okay? So 14th, 15th, or this Friday. So I'm going to follow up this meeting today with a message to everybody about how important the stuff is, and then also what's the best dates when you plan your observations. Hopefully you started today, or I mean, you started this Thursday and Friday, because you can guarantee, granted we are in the summer, we are in Southern California, and probably we will not have inclement weather that much. We probably will not have clouds on that day, but just in case, to avoid any of the problems down the road on the 14th or 15th, you say, you know what? I better wait until then to do my project, but then probably you can do it because of the clouds. Hopefully there will be none of that problem, but just in case, try to do your observations this Thursday and Friday. And if you can't, or actually you can go over to Saturday if you want to, or you can do it on Wednesday. So this is the window for you to start doing your planning. If not, leave it toward the other part, okay? So in addition to that, we have quizzes, we have discussions. A lot of you are already on top of that to make sure you guys are not missing on those things. And also any other related assignments like the homework assignments and things like that. Please reach out if you have any questions. Any questions for me today? You guys don't have any questions, I'm going to stop the recording. Okay, thank you. I don't know how to say your first name, but I'm going to try. Okay, Odalise. Okay. Well, thank you very much, guys. Okay.
Lisa.
Okay, Elisa, yes. And uh, okay, good to know. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, guys. I'll see you guys if in case I'm not sure exactly if we have another meeting, depending on how you guys would feel about it. I think we have introduced the class last week. We discussed about everything. So the class should be self-contained. Everything is on Canvas. And please do reach out. I know the homework assignments are typically a headache for some of you. Please reach out for that. And I will try to post a link for on YouTube for all of those homework assignments because I recorded them in the past. So make sure you do them. Again, the purpose of the homework assignment is not really to challenge you, but just to give you a sense of things because once you have a number in front of you, then you can tell. Then you can actually, the concept will be easier to grasp and understand. So that's the purpose of this assignment, is to get things in numbers because the numbers can tell a lot of story, a lot of information in them. So I want to get those numbers, hopefully for the content to be retained. Okay. Thank you guys. Thank you for coming. And I will post this recording today, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you guys. Stop recording.